Alright guys, so we are on to the last part of chapter 55, and this section really sort of takes a look at what we're doing as humans and how that's affecting the energy flow, the chemical cycling. And this really is going to jump us into chapter 56, which is coming up next. So as our human population continues to grow, both in size and the way that we act within our ecosystems, all right, that disturbance, that disruption that we're having is really causing some major issues for food chains because we're going in and we're interrupting that energy flow and adding or removing chemicals, which is throwing off those chemical cycles. All right, and that's having a huge disruption on the trophic structure as a whole. In addition, we're transporting nutrients from one location to another. Remember, I said the globe as a whole is a closed system. All right, but if we look at individual ecosystems, they're not. They're open, and we're constantly moving nutrients from one location to another and adding or removing materials and in some case toxins to those ecosystems, which is going to have a disruptive effect on your nutrient cycles, your energy transfers, your trophic structures. And it's something that we have to become more aware of as we continue to do what we do. So one of the fields of ecology is this idea of restoration ecology. All right. All the damage that we tend to do, if we were to step away and leave it go, all right, most communities are capable of recovering from a lot of different types of disturbance if they're given enough time. Okay. But depending on the severity of what we've done, giving them just sort of that natural time, we have come to understand that that's not necessarily good enough. All right, and so restoration ecology is looking to initiate or to speed up that recovery process, in which they're looking at sort of two major strategies, the bioremediation as well as biological augmentation. So when we talk about bioremediation, we're talking about the use of organisms to detoxify certain ecosystems. So we're utilizing organisms like your bacteria, your fungi, plants, and we put these organisms into environments that we have really kind of dumped a bunch of toxins, with the hope that these organisms are capable of taking up those toxins, metabolizing them, and sort of re-releasing less toxic, or in some cases non-toxic, molecules. So we're kind of, the idea here is to get rid of the toxic stuff so that then those ecosystems are kind of there and able to re-establish themselves. Whereas the biological augmentation is using organisms to add back materials that we have kind of taken. So adding nitrogen-fixing bacteria to increase the available nitrogen, adding those mycorrhizal fungi to help plants access nutrients, rather than having to chemically add fertilizers. We're adding organisms that are going to be able to access those nutrients for these plants rather than having to add the fertilizers instead. Okay, so the bioremediation idea is to remove bad stuff. The augmentation is to add organisms to add extra materials that are good for the environment back in. And these concepts will come back up in chapter 56 as we sort of look at sustainability and conservation and all of those ideas.